Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes as I see folks are joining. So thank you for your time today. And before we get started, I'm also going to just be adding you all to the room with us so that you're able to interact and talk with us. And if you'd like to have your camera on, you're welcome to. Okay, just a couple more minutes here. And if you could just make sure that you're muted. At this time, we will have opportunities for everyone to speak a little bit later on. All right, can you all see my screen? The presentation? Great. Okay, just gonna give it one more minute here as I see a couple others joining. Okay, there we go. So we should have everyone in the room with us now. I'm going to present my screen again. Okay, I think we're ready. Okay, well, welcome everyone, and thank you again so much for your time joining us during the lunch hour. As I mentioned before, we are looking to keep this interactive, casual. Feel free to eat your lunch, as you're listening in. Don't hesitate to ask questions or provide comments as we go along. And I do also want to let you know that this meeting will be recorded and will be available for viewing later. And before we continue with the translation, let me make sure that I have the recording working here. And Eric, can you confirm that we're recording? Sorry, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, great. Okay, so with that, we're going to activate a poll right away just to check in on translation needs. And go ahead, Eric.
Sorry, Asha, would you like me to interpret in Arabic that part?
Yeah, go ahead. Since this meeting will be recorded for viewing later, we'd love to have the translation as part of the presentation. It does also look like we have at least one that's needing Arabic translation. So we'll go ahead and have Erica go first with the Spanish, and then Susan will follow with the Arabic.
Erica, go ahead.
Oh, are you with us, Erica?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, all right. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. Hola y bienvenidos por acompañarnos. Para empezar, queremos hacer una encuesta para preguntar si necesitan traducciones. Pueden seleccionar en su pantalla español, árabe o si no necesitan, también pueden seleccionar eso. Gracias.
نرحب بالجميع وشكرا لكم على الانضمام إلينا خلال ساعة الغداء الخاصة بك. سيكون هذا الاجتماع تفاعلي، لذلك يرجى عدم تردد في طرح الأسئلة وتقديم التعليقات، ونحن نمضي قدما في هذا الاجتماع. رجاء لا تتردد في تناول الطعام، الغداء، خذ وقتك. أريد أن أعلمكم أن هذا الاجتماع سيتم تسجيله، سيكون متاحة للعرض لاحقا أيضا. من فضلك إذا تحتاجي أن تحتاجي اللغة العربية في البول، زوم بول، اختار اللغة العربية.
Great, thank you both. So we'll go ahead and end the poll now. Okay, and just sharing the results. So we do have one person here that will need Arabic translation, and we'll go ahead and continue. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Okay, so here is a quick look at our meeting agenda. We'll do introductions, a brief project overview, and then open discussion, and finally close with next steps. Go ahead, Erica. Oh, we can't hear you again.
I'm sorry. Aquí está nuestra agenda para la reunión. Empezaremos con introducciones y después una breve descripción del proyecto. Luego tendremos una discusión abierta y finalmente les diremos los siguientes pasos para el proceso.
عرض لمواضيعنا لهذا اليوم سيكون لنا مقدمات، نظرة عامة على المشروع، مناقشة مفتوحة والخطوات التالية في عملية التخطيط.
Great, thank you. So brief introductions. My name is Asha Blyer, and I'm with Dudek, the consulting firm that's working with the city of El Cajon on this exciting project for a plan pertaining to the topic of environmental justice. And we'll get into that a little bit more later. Today with me from our team, I have Rose Newberry, Jennifer Davis, and we have Erica Van Sickle, who is part of our planning team and also our Spanish translator today. And we also have Susan, our Arabic translator. In addition, we do have a couple of members from the city of El Cajon staff as well. The main point of contact, Melissa Devine, has joined us as well. And with that, I will continue on. So a few just Zoom meeting basics. You will notice that everyone is muted during this presentation, but should you wish to speak, you may use the raise hand feature. You can see circled to the right. You may also use the chat button, or you may see the Q&A button to submit any questions if you prefer not to speak. Go ahead, Erica.
Se darán cuenta que todos están silenciados durante la presentación. Si desean hablar, por favor utilicen la función de levantar la mano, tal vez estará en inglés, y también pueden usar el botón de chat para enviar preguntas en cualquier momento.
أنا اسمي آشا بلير، أنا معرض هذا أشتغل في مشروع دودك، أيضا معي هنا روز نيوبري، أريكا، وأيضا أعضاء الذين يشتغلون في مدينة الكهون. موضوعنا في هذا اليوم سنناقش العدالة البيئية، وفرصة لنا لنناقش بنقاش مفتوح. فمن فضلك إذا كان في أي سؤال ممكن أنه في تحت في الزوم ميتينج ترى كلمة شات، ممكن تضع سؤالك أو تكتبي سؤالك. في معظم الوقت سيكون الكل ميوتد، الكل يعني لا يقدر أن يتكلم إلى أن تعطى له الفرصة. فممكن المشاركة بهذه الطريقة، كتابة الأسئلة أو ممكن كلام إذا تعطى لك فرصة تتحدث وتفتح الميكروفون تقول السؤال وبعد ذلك الإجابة. شكرا.
Great. And as part of our introductions, we would like the opportunity to meet you as well. So here's a brief poll to learn a little bit more about you all. And Eric, if you can pull up the poll. Go ahead, Erica.
Aquí hay una breve encuesta para que podamos aprender un poco más sobre ustedes. La pregunta es si es usted un residente o propietario de negocios. Las opciones para contestar son residente, propietario de negocios o otra opción.
وفي المقدمة في البداية أحب أن أعرف بعض الأمور عنكم وعن مجال الشغل العمل التي تقوم فيه. فاستطلاع إذا ممكن تختار أول اختيار يكون resident المقيم، هل أنت مقيم في هذه المدينة؟ هل أنت صاحب عمل business owner، هل أنت هذا؟ أو others أو شيء آخر. رجاء تحديد الإجابة ثم اضغط على الكلمة أرسل أو send.
Okay, we have almost everyone's voted here. We'll give it just another second. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, we have just 3 residents with us today. The rest are categorized as other, so we look forward to, in our open discussion, learning a little bit more about you all.
Pueden ver, tenemos a 3 residentes y los demás son de otro. Estamos emocionados y queremos aprender más de lo que ustedes quieren ver en la ciudad.
إذن لدينا 3 من المقيمين في المدينة والبقية يكونوا الأمور أخرى وفرص العمل أو الأشخاص الموجودين في العمل لا يوجد شخص، فالأغلبية جاوبت في أمور أخرى.
Okay, so one more poll so we can get an idea of generally where you live or work. Eric, go ahead and activate the poll.
Ahora vamos a hacer una pregunta más de la encuesta para que podamos tener una idea general de a dónde viven o trabajan. Y aquí van a ver las opciones son Bostonia, el centro de la ciudad de El Cajon, Horizon Hills, Fletcher Hills, otra opción o la última, por favor seleccionen la última opción si no viven en la ciudad de El Cajon.
أيضا لدينا اختيار آخر ممكن أنه نحدد مكان السكن أو مكان العمل. فزي ما موجود بوستونيا إذا كان في وسط المدينة داونتاون، إذا كان الكهون، هورايزن هيلز، فليتشر هيلز إذا كان تختار هذا السؤال، أو أنا لا أعيش في مدينة الكهون. رجاء تحديد الإجابة ثم بعد ذلك اضغط على كلمة أرسل send.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. So we have 4 who live or work in downtown El Cajon. We've got 2 from Fletcher Hills, and the rest that have indicated they do not live in the city of El Cajon. Okay. Erica, go ahead.
Oh, the
poll.
The results went away. Yeah, but that's okay. Si no vieron la mayoría de la gente que contestó no vive en la ciudad de El Cajon, pero tuvimos algunos participantes que contestaron que trabajan en Downtown El Cajon y en Horizon Hills.
إذن 4 أشخاص يسكنون في وسط مدينة الكهون داونتاون، وبعض الأشخاص أيضا في فلتشر هيلز، و50% من الذين معنا الآن هم other أو خارج.
Okay, now we'll get into a brief project overview and then into our open discussion.
Vamos a empezar con un resumen del proyecto y después seguiremos con una discusión abierta del proyecto.
سنقوم الآن بطرح نظرة عامة على المشروع هذا وسنبدأ بفتح المناقشة.
All right, so what is environmental justice and why are we here today? So environmental justice is the fair treatment and meaningful involvement of all people regardless of race, color, national origin, or income with respect to the development, implementation, and enforcement of laws, regulations, and policies.
Entonces, ¿qué es la justicia ambiental y por qué estamos aquí hoy? La justicia ambiental es el trato justo y la participación significativa de todas las personas, independiente de su raza, color, origen, nacional o ingresos, con respecto al desarrollo, implementación y aplicación de leyes, regulaciones y políticas.
ما هي العدالة البيئية؟ هي معاملة العدالة البيئية والمشاركة المجدية لجميع الناس بغض النظر عن العرق، اللون، الأصل القومي أو الدخل المادي، فيما يتعلق بموضوع وتنفيذ هذه القوانين واللوائح والسياسات المتعلقة بهذا الغرض.
The city of El Cajon contains environmental justice communities, or EJCs. These are communities that experience a disproportionate pollution burden, such as air quality issues, combined with fewer community resources. Now, using your annotation button, and I can explain how to access that. If you are looking at your bar of options where you show your mute button, stop video, Q&A, you should see either annotate or you can select more, and you should be able to get to the annotate button, which will then allow you to place a stamp. If you go scroll over to stamp, and I'm going to provide an example here. And we'd love for you to go ahead and stamp the map, indicating where you live, work, or maybe just have an area of interest. So I'll go ahead and provide an example, and we'll leave this screen up for a while as the translators continue.
La ciudad del Cajon contiene comunidades de justicia ambiental o EJC, y estas son comunidades que enfrentan una carga de contaminación desproporcionada o problemas de calidad del aire combinada con menos recursos comunitarios. Y ahorita los participantes están usando su botón de anotación y colocando un sello aproximadamente en el lugar a donde viven o trabajan.
مدينة الكهون تحتوي على مجتمعات العدالة البيئية وبرامجها EJCs، وهذه هي المجتمعات التي تعاني من عبء تلوث البيئة والتلوثات الأخرى أو قضايا تتعلق بنوعية الهواء أو تلوث الهواء مقترنة بموارد أقل من مجتمعات الأخرى المحلية. فأعطينا الآن خارطة لك أو لك، ممكن استخدام هذه الخارطة لوضع ستار نجمة على المكان الذي تسكن فيه أو تعمل فيه أو لك علاقة في مكان معين في هذه الخارطة. فإذا ذهبت على الاختيارات الموجودة في الزوم هنا، يوجد ستوب Q&A مكان وضع الأسئلة، وأيضا في زرار آخر مكتوب عليه more، then تختار annotate لتأخذ ستامب، تأخذ طابع أو نجمة وتضعها على الخارطة. سنفتح هذه الخارطة لوقت حتى نعطي فرصة لشخص يضع العلامة على الخارطة للمكان الذي يكون مكان السكن أو مكان العمل.
Great, thank you. Okay, next slide. All right, so now what is the purpose of the environmental justice plan that we're working on? So the purpose of the environmental justice planning work that we're doing is to really improve health, air quality, food choices, parks, safety, streets, sidewalks, just to name a few, in environmental justice communities. To promote getting involved in the local government so that people in these neighborhoods can really impact and affect change, and making improvements happen through programs. Go ahead, Erica.
Entonces, ¿cuál es el propósito del plan de justicia ambiental? Bueno, el propósito puede ser de muchas cosas, pero puede ayudar a mejorar la salud, la calidad del aire, las opciones de alimentos, los parques, la seguridad, las calles y las aceras o las banquetas en las comunidades de justicia ambiental o EJC. También puede promover la participación en su gobierno local para que puedan ayudar a hacer un cambio en su vecindario y hacer que las mejoras sucedan a través de programas.
ما هو الغرض المهم لهذا البرنامج؟ تحديد البيئة، العدالة البيئية، وهو تحسين الصحة وجودة الهواء وخيارات الأغذية والحدائق والسلامة والشوارع والأرصفة في مجتمعات التي تحتاج إلى العدالة البيئية. أيضاً غرض آخر هو تشجيع المشاركة في الحكومة المحلية الخاصة بك أو بك حتى تتمكن أو يتمكن الجميع من التأثر أو التغير اللاحق، وأيضاً إجراء تحسينات من خلال هذا البرنامج.
Great, thank you. Okay, so now we're going to move into the open discussion, and for purposes of the open discussion, we want to just kind of open it up to the whole room. For translation services, we're just going to provide them on an as-needed basis. So let us know if you'd like to speak, and if you need the translation, we will provide that. And with that, I will.
Oh, yeah.
And go ahead, Erica.
Sure. Oh, just to wrap it up. Ahora haremos una serie de preguntas para una discusión abierta. La vamos a seguir en inglés, y si alguien necesita las traducciones, se los podemos ofrecer en ese momento.
الآن سنبدأ لفرصة مناقشة مفتوحة. في هذا الوقت ممكن أن تناقش وتتحدث وتشارك معنا. إذا كان في احتياج لترجمة، من فضلك اعلمنا أو تكلم باللغة التي تحددها وستبدأ الترجمة فورية.
Great, thank you. And for this portion, I'm going to actually turn it over to our planner, Jennifer Davis, to go through some of the open discussion questions that we have, but also feel free to share your thoughts on other topics as well. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. First, we want to start with what you love about the city where you live or work or worship. So we do have some examples, right, Asha,
we do
here after this. So what we're really looking for is, what do you like about where you live, and what do you want to see stay or be preserved in the future? And how do we, well, here's a hand raised.
Samar.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So what I like about El Cajon, it's a beautiful city. I've been living here for 10 years, more than 10 years. I came here as a refugee, and now I'm working here as well. So what I love, it's everything is like neat and nice. Only one thing that I don't like, I see a lot of, trash in the street, and that really hurts me when I see it. So I would love to see more trash cans around the streets, kind of every 1 mile. This is my dream. I know it's gonna need a lot of money, but at least gonna save our city from being like, so much trash in it. And that's annoying me when I go walking with my kids, and they keep telling me, "Mommy, this is littering." And yeah, I think this is one of the things that I would like to share with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Samar. Is it trash in the street and in the parks? I mean, are there enough trash in the parks?
Most likely in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could name some of them. If you go on, I think, Johnson towards the mall, you're gonna see a lot nearby the canal. Where else? I don't remember, but the other day I was there and it was really messy. Most of the time that place is really messy.
Mm-hmm. So mostly as you're walking along the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
That area. I think parks are clean, somehow clean and nice. I haven't been to parks for a while, like maybe 3-4 months, because of the weather. It's still cold. Maybe we will return back to normal soon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for now, I just wanted to share that idea.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And John Fisher.
Yes, I'd like to comment on the last Samar. What she said is that with the trash, I noticed that that's, I hate to say pinpointed on people, but I'm going to, is that those experiencing homelessness don't have an outlet to throw away their trash. So if we put trash cans near some of the major bus stops, I think that would help resolve the trash issue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I love about El Cajon is the diversity.
Mm-hmm.
In several different ways. They're very diverse.
Yeah, we have
That-
heard that quite a bit. Yeah, that is kind of a wonderful thing about the
Yeah,
city.
financially, skin color,
Mm-hmm.
religion,
Mm-hmm.
the diverse, and like I said, so many different ways.
Yeah. Great. Thanks. Rashid has a hand up.
Yes, good morning. Oh,
Morning.
good afternoon, actually. I like the question that you asked about what would you like about El Cajon, and also what you like to preserve in the future. I've been working with many of the refugees or new immigrants in El Cajon or East County in general. Um, and I ask always this kind of question, and not just only ask them that question, but at the same time, I just want them to see things that maybe they've never experienced before by just walking on the street, looking into the park, seeing the city that they live in and the neighborhood that they live in, what they like about it and what they don't like. What if they don't like things that they share it with us. That's through program that we have here at the IRC called the Leadership Academy. And we've had many of our clients mention those kind of things about the trash. And we talked about certain things, specifically about lights in El Cajon, how it is sometimes, in the wintertime, it gets dark early. So it's very hard to see at like around 5 o'clock p.m. while people coming back from work. And there were some incidents and accident that happened. But ultimately, I would say El Cajon, it's a place that people they would love to live in. As John mentioned about diversity, many of them share that information as well. Many of them also mention about how it is closer to them to the going to market to market, to to place, and it's walking distance, and they enjoy being in El Cajon. Many people that I've seen, they moved outside of the state of California, but they came back again to El Cajon. So it tells you, there's something brings them back here. And we would love to see how we will be making sure that El Cajon to be a model for I would say the whole California, to see the diversity side as well, and to see as well why people they just want to live here, and they become like ultimately residents in this place. This is what I would like to share, but I'll be more than happy to share any extra things that you guys would like to do.
Rashid, what does RIC stand for?
Okay, Okay. IRC is the International Rescue Committee. It's a nonprofit organization,
Okay,
and we are working in California and I would say in different states in the United States and also internationally.
great. And when you mention lights, I think you're probably talking about street lights, maybe not enough of them, or they not being on
That's
early
correct.
enough, or
That's
Mhm.
correct. Yes.
Okay.
And
Alright.
Susan, I know we did have a specific need for Arabic translation, so perhaps you could just make sure to repeat the question in Arabic
Absolutely.
for that person. Thank you.
السؤال كان قدم ومفتوح للمناقشة. ماذا الذي تحبه عن مدينة الكهون وتود أن تحافظ عليه في المستقبل؟ على سبيل المثال أشياء تفعل، أماكن تذهب لها، القيم التي تشارك فيها. فالأشخاص الذين شاركوا أول شيء معنا كانت بالنسبة للمشاركة من سما كان بالنسبة للتراش أو النفاية التي توضع في الشوارع، وذكرت منطقة معينة محتاجة إلى تنظيف، وذكرت أن منطقة منتزهات البارك لا تحتاج إلى تنظيف لأنها هي جيدة بكل الأحوال، لكن الجو في الوقت الحالي هو بارد. جينيفر ديفيس كانت تبدأ معنا وهي تناقش هذا الموضوع وتكمل معنا هذا الموضوع، وبعد ذلك شخص آخر شارك بالنسبة للموضوع أنه الهوملسنس أو الأشخاص الذين ليس لهم مكانات للسكن، واستخدام ووضع مكانات معينة لوضع القمامة فيها، مثلا قريبة من مكانات الباصات، ومساعدة لتنظيف ومساعدة الأشخاص الذين ليس لهم مسكن في مساعدة في إبقاء المدينة نظيفة. وبعد ذلك الشخص الذي تحدث من IRC من هذه المنظمة، ويتحدث كأنه يساعد اللاجئين. وطبعا زي ما ذكرت في البداية سما ذكرت أنه هي أيضا لاجئة من 10 سنين وجاءت، وأولادها أيضا يحاولوا أن يحافظوا على نظافة المنطقة لأن الكل يحب هذه المنطقة. وشخص آخر شارك بالنسبة لموضوع diversity، كيف أنه هذه المدينة لها فيها فئات مختلفة متنوعة من الأشخاص الموجودين في هذه المدينة، وهذا الشيء محب للجميع وأيضا نحب أن نحافظ عليه. وبعد ذلك أنه في أشخاص آخرين غادروا هذه المدينة ورجعوا إليها مرة أخرى بسبب محبتهم للناس، محبتهم للبيئة التي يسكنون فيها، ومشاركة الجميع للحفاظ على نظافة المكان وأيضا على تنمية هذا المكان.
Thank you, Susan. And in the essence of time, we'll just have you translate the question for our future questions, and then if we have an Arabic speaker that needs translation, then we'll have you provide that as well. Sorry, because I know we don't have a ton of time today. So, okay, it looks like I did see a raised hand. Yes, go ahead.
I'm Ibtisam. Good afternoon. I will talk in Arabic and the ladies will translate. أنا almost 9 سنين بالألكهون بنفس الفرع من لينكن ساوث لينكن، وأحب الشارع مالتي وأحب مدينة الكهون لأنه هي صفة اجتماعية إنه نلتقي بالناس، بما إنه إحنا مهاجرين فموجود بها الصفة الاجتماعية. بس اللي موجود الشيء السلبي بشارع مالتنا هو الهوملسز. هواية هوملس عندنا ويشربون هاي الأشياء يعني شو يسموها المخدرات، الريحة والطابع ماله للأطفال بالنسبة يعني فالشيء الريحة تكون بالبيوت إزعاج كلش، ومن نطلع الأطفال يخافون منهم ولا هم ما يأذون، لكنه شكلهم والمكان اللي يعيشون به. وأيضا إحنا بين واشنطن ولينكن تقريبا 50 حادث براس فرعنا صار خلال هالسنين الآن موجودة، يمكن أكثر من 50 حادث. وقبل السبت الفات بين واشنطن وأنزا، لأنه الشارع ما به هواية لايتات، ولد عمره 25 سنة فقد حياته الساعة 10 بالليل، وبارحة كان اليوم الثلاثاء كان التشييع مالته. فإحنا بدنا نفتقر لهاي الأشياء. أولاً صح مثل ما قالت أخت سمر هواية زبل أكو بالشوارع والهومليس واللايتات، مثل ما تفضل الأخ رشيد أنا أخذت صور ودزيتها إله وهو مشكور، قال راح أطرح الموضوع على هذه الأشياء وشاكرة لكم.
أنا My name is Ibtisam. I've been living in El Cajon for 9 years now. I'm a refugee immigrated to the city. I live on South Lincoln Street. I love my street. I love the city for all the points that it's been shared already. However, I have some negative aspect that I like to add here. In my street area, there is a lot of homelessness and people who's homeless, but the problem is not with them, is the activity that they do, including drinking, drugs use, the smell of the street. Even the kids, they don't hurt our kids. However, the kids feel unsafe around the environment there. Also, the smell that translate or transported to the living area and to the homes that we live in. Our kids are afraid from the environment that we live in. Also on Washington and Lincoln, there within the last 9 years that I lived in the area, almost more than 50 accidents happened there. Last week alone on Washington and Elza, because there's no light and the summer added the trash problems and the person who added about the lights problems at 10 p.m. last week, a young man lost his life because of that on that street. And so I took pictures. I sent it to Rashid. I thank Rashid for what he shared too. And I sent those pictures to share what we are struggling with in that area.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I just ask, the accidents, those are between cars and cars or cars and pedestrians?
إذا حابب أسألك ابتسام معنا، هل
نعم.
هذه الحوادث هي مع يعني حالات إصابات بالسيارات مع بعضها ولا أشخاص مع سيارات؟ يعني شلون بالضبط الحوادث هذه ذكرتيها؟
Some of them it's car with car, some of them يعني السيارة تسوي يعني حادث دهس للأشخاص.
And the others is cars really running over pedestrians.
Thank you.
It looks like Carol Lewis has her hand raised. Go ahead, Carol.
Hi, thank you. I just wanted to say that I think, excuse me, El Cajon has a real family atmosphere between the school district and the Parks and Rec. I really would like to see that preserved, the fact that there's so many parks and that the parks be kept up and you know, some extra features added to the parks to make them more user-friendly for families. But I just have to say that's one thing I really love about El Cajon is the fact that it is such a family atmosphere and has lots of activities for families to do within the city.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. I'm just going to click through in the essence of time. We'll get to some of these other questions, but we also have some examples, things you do, places you go, values you share, which I think we touched on. So that was great. Thank you. Okay, let's go to the next question. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Okay. This next one is about how you sort of feel in your neighborhood. And we have been talking about that a bit, some of the feeling a bit unsafe due to cars or some of the activities, but maybe expand on that a little bit. And then also, how do you feel connected to your community? And I think Carol just talked about being connected through the schools and the parks and the sort of family atmosphere. But if anyone has things to add to this, that would be great.
السؤال الثاني هو ماذا تشعر عن المنطقة التي تسكن فيها؟ على سبيل المثال السلامة، وتحدثنا على هذا الموضوع، على درجات الحرارة في المنطقة أيضا، وأيضا على التواصل، ما هو التواصل بين المجتمعات وإمكانية المشي مثالا أو حرية المشي في هذه المنطقة التي تعيش فيها في التحديد.
Oh, I see a hand raised. Go ahead.
بالنسبة يعني المشاركة مع الجيران، يعني احنا كل هاي 9 سنين الحمد لله ما شفنا أي حادثة سرقة أو واحد يتعدى على الآخر، الكل مسالم وشلون يعني بحرية احنا نمشي العصر الصبح الظهر كل شيء موجود اوكي، بس بالنسبة قلنا لهاي الهومليس ولا هم ما يأذون الناس، هم يأذون نفسهم، بس كل شيء آمن بالنسبة للمجمعات اللي احنا عايشين بيها.
Concerning this, I would like also to add that we feel safe. We could walk around it in the evening hours, and in general, everyone is protecting each other's and kind to each other's, and no incidents of stealing or anything. So we feel safe. Connectedness and being able to communicate and being part of the community is very strong too. It's just what I shared about the homelessness. Although they don't hurt any of us, but they hurt themselves. However, it's just the point that I shared earlier.
Thank you, Ipasan. Any other? Actually, I'm seeing chats and I'm seeing an occasional hand, but if I'm missing a hand, let me know. A hand up.
Absolutely. And I just added some examples here, some of which we've already touched on. But we have here safety, walkability, the connection to the community, even the temperature. If you experience extreme heat or very hot weather temperatures. Carol, I think I saw your hand up first.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. Thank you. I think one of the things I hadn't mentioned before, the seniors, having worked with the seniors often in El Cajon, I do feel that there's a disconnect for seniors in El Cajon. They don't feel that there's really a community center or an adult center where they can go to socialize. And there aren't quite enough programs at the parks where they feel like they can get involved. They used to go to their local libraries, but they feel a little bit more threatened at the libraries when there's homeless around or, just walking to the library itself, the streets, crossing streets and things. And so that's one of the comments that I've gotten from seniors in the last couple of years.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Samar?
So I just want to point that we love our city so much, and I've seen a lot of things that are really make me feel I like this place because everything we need is really close to us. Like we have the fire station, we have the library, we have grocery stores, we have gas stations. They are around the streets. We have pharmacies around the streets. I don't use public transportation. I'm not sure how good is that. But if you, but other things, I think they're pretty much good. And the city of El Cajon is providing beautiful things like crosswalking places, and they are really good. I've seen a lot of things, especially I'm also working at Johnson Elementary. So I've seen a lot of improvement in many areas around us. And I think it's like everything, as I told you, is connected to each other, and we are very, like everything we need is very close to us. Thank you.
Thank you. That's really nice to hear about a city. Okay, I think, oh, there's another chat. Hold on just a minute. Let me make sure I get that. So Julie wants to know if there's a map of upcoming projects in the city that shows the timing and amount of expenditures that will be made in the environmental justice communities. That's probably a question for the city.
Yeah, and I'll just clarify that at this time, we're in early planning stages to try to set up a framework to get to that point where hopefully we will be able to welcome programs and more specific projects to the communities. But this planning process is really a part of trying to identify the community's goals and then kind of further those through future programs and policies, if that helps. So, and I know Melissa's on the line, so I don't know, Melissa, if you wanted to add to that question at all.
Okay.
Oh, I think that's a great response, Asha. We know that, further investment is needed in some of these communities, and we're looking at the environmental justice element as a way to bridge the gap and create policies that will result in that.
Great, thank you.
Great. The next question, we have talked a little bit about walking. I'm curious if there's any experience, anybody has experience of biking through their neighborhoods or around their neighborhoods, and how does that feel? Do you like it? Any issues with that? That's this question. Asha, I don't know if we have any particulars under that. Oh, okay. There we go.
تحدثنا بالنسبة لهذا السؤال سابقا عن المشي. نتحدث الآن على ركوب الدراجات في جميع أنحاء المنطقة التي تسكن فيها. على سبيل المثال صندوق الأمانات، إذا ما كانت، هل تشعر بالسعادة عندما تذهب وتخرج؟ هل يوجد أي شعور خاص بالنسبة لركوب الدراجات أو استخدام الطرق العامة؟
And Samara, looks like you have a hand raised. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't bike, but my kids do. When I go with them, like my little one, she's 3 years old. 4 years old now. I've noticed that some areas have no sidewalks, just like the picture that you're showing now. I would say there is one at least on Camden that goes to Washington. One side of Camden have no sidewalks. And number two, I've seen inside like the residential areas, some cars going really fast. I don't know how can we help or reduce their speed by adding more bumping or whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
In the streets, so especially when it's like 25 mile per hour and they go higher. That's my only concern. Any other things? I think when we walk, I would like to use the sidewalks. That's most important thing for me when she bikes, I mean. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, we have heard about the cars going really fast on some of these streets. So we'll take that into consideration.
Thank you.
I don't see any other hands. Do you, Asha?
No, let me see in the chat. We have Julie, who's also saying sidewalks are missing in many areas of Fletcher Hills, which makes walking difficult and less safe because we have to walk in the street where the cars are driving. Thank you, Julie, for that comment.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is about food. We understand there's some great markets in El Cajon, but this question is about, do you and your family eat fresh and healthy food? And if not, why? And if you do, how is that? How do you do that as well? So this is about fresh and healthy food and having it available, having it close by so that you can prepare meals.
هل أنت وعائلتك تأكلون الطعام الطازج والصحي في كثير من الأحيان؟ لماذا ولماذا لا؟ على سبيل المثال المحلات التجارية المحلية تبيع الخضار والفواكه، محلات البقالة والغذاء الصحي، شحنات الطعام من الفواكه والخضرة. فما هو رأيك في هذا الموضوع؟
Go ahead, John. I see your hand raised.
Yes, it would be nice as a church to be able to work with a program with El Cajon to take care of those that need food. I don't know
Mhm.
how else to put it.
Mhm.
But you're saying that we're not talking programs today?
Oh yeah, no, we can talk about programs. Oh, go ahead, Jennifer.
No, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, we are. We're just trying to get a feel for what programs we should think about in the future. So that's really great. And Samar.
Yes, we always eat fresh food and healthy food as well. But I've noticed like the last couple of years, especially this year, I've noticed that the prices are really getting higher and higher. I think I used to buy more food out of my $20 when I go to any store, like any grocery store. Now, I think I spend more than 50 with a small amount of things. So this is my only concern.
Mm-hmm. Boy, the prices are really going up. I agree. All
Yes,
right.
I saw a hand raised. Go ahead.
Okay, about the fresh food, we are a church and circle at St. Albans. We are in food pantry. We do that at the first and third Tuesday for the people that are low income or everyone and homelesses. We give it they bring it from the food bank and we separate it and prepare it to them. And we have First Presbyterian Church, they part with us, they help us with something, we give it to the homeless and the poor people. We do that twice a month. And all the pandemic time, we didn't stop. We do that, we use the gloves and masks, and we do everything protect for the people. And we are so happy for that, for the old peoples. Thank you for asking. And fresh food is healthy, better than the fast food. And we Middle East people, we use the fresh food and we cooked in home. It's better than we take that from restaurant. We didn't know how they cooked, how they fried, and we advise the kids and everyone to eat that. Thank you.
I wanted to ask a question. Do you feel like most of your friends and family and neighbors do cook at home? That's a sense I got from some of the interviews that I read, that's a really important aspect of the community, is buying fresh food and eating at home.
بدي أسألك هذا السؤال خصيصا، هل كل أعضاء العائلة والأشخاص اللي أنت معهم، الأصحاب والأصدقاء، هل الكل يشتري يعني الأغذية وبعد ذلك يطبخ في البيت؟ أنا أعتقد أنه في المجتمع الموجود فيه يفضلوا هذه الطريقة، فهل هذا واضح بالنسبة للمجتمع أنت ساكنة به؟ الجميع يفضل أن يحضر الطعام في البيت؟
نعم، نفضل إن بعد الأوقات تعرفين مناسبات الأطفال يعجبهم إنه مرة بالشهر مرتين إنه ناخذ لهم فاست فود مثلا إن أوت أو برجرز أو something. بس إحنا طبيعتنا المجتمع الشرقي وأصدقائنا وجوارنا وأهلنا كلنا نفضل ونسوي نطبخ بالبيت وناكل بيها.
Yes, for sure. Middle Eastern culture, we usually prefer to prepare our food at home and to just make it at home and then we share it. However, sometimes we like to treat our kids with a special, maybe hamburger, In-N-Out or others once in a while. But most of the time, we prefer to prepare them healthy meals at home and to share with our family.
Thank you. Thanks.
I need to ask Ibtisam. She said that they have a schedule to give away food 2 days a week in St. Albans Church.
أسألك ابتسام هذا السؤال، ذكرتي بالنسبة للكنيسة اللي تحضروا فيها الطعام. ممكن تعطينا تفضلي.
like the days, like exactly the dates, and who can come and take this like food? Can we like refer families to you?
Yeah.
Because I know a lot.
Twice a month, not twice a week, sorry. It's first Tuesday and third Tuesday in the month. And before the pandemic, our church, they do the, in
تفضلي
Wolf
احكي
Park,
بالعربي.
they do the in Wolf Park, the communion for the homelesses and the father and the members of the church. We went to there and they give they do the, what they say, like sandwiches for the homelesses, and everybody is welcome to come there. And we do they bring the dry, the fruits and vegetables and cans from the food bank, and we prepare it in the boxes and give it to the people. And everyone is welcome to come in there and take that.
Thank you.
That's great. I am noticing that we're coming up on our hour mark, and we are willing to stay a little over. I just want to make sure that if any folks do need to jump off and would like an opportunity to speak, would like to give you that. I do see, it looks like the name is Carol Dixon, has a hand raised. So go ahead, Carol.
I just wanted to add, having to do with the working with churches to identify programs for those that need food, that Carol Lewis has a group, a food access network group, which is all the food pantries that she can get together in East County so they can talk to each other. I know that she is providing a pocket guide for El Cajon. It's in the editing and printing process right now, but shows those types of resources. And it sounds like some of the people on this call need those. So you could certainly connect with Carol Lewis and Ibtisam, who talked about her church having the food pantry. It would be helpful for them to be on this call because they could give information about what they are doing and others can benefit by it. That's all I had to say.
Great, thank you. And Tracy?
That was a great segue, Carol. This is Tracy Morgan Hollingworth. I'm with the Association of Realtors. We, about 2 years ago, helped Carol Lewis build a website called ecassist.org. It has a lot of the food bank resources there on the website. It has mental health services, substance abuse services. It's mainly an offshoot of the East San Diego County Homeless Task Force. But guess what? During the pandemic, the height of the pandemic last year, that resource was being used by a lot of families in El Cajon, in La Mesa, other cities, and it was just really quite a blessing for people to have that as a, hey, how do I get a meal? How do I get a shower? A lot of people living in their cars, but still working out there. And that's, I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Great, thank you. That sounds like a great resource.
And in the chat, Carol Lewis has graciously added her contact information as well as those websites. So thank you, Carol and Tracy, for providing that information. I just want to take a moment and see if there's anybody else that wanted to comment on any of the questions thus far. We have a little bit of more content to get through, and we're happy to stay past the hour, but I want to respect people's time if they need to jump off. So not seeing any, we'll go ahead and continue on. Okay, and thank you, Melissa. She also provided some resources through the chat. City of El Cajon provides information on food resources and other resources on the coronavirus information page, and she provided a website there as well. And this presentation will be recorded and available for future, along with these resources provided in the chat. So we'll make sure that that's made available on the city's website. Thank you. Okay, let's get to the next slide here.
Asha, is this our last question? I can't remember.
So we have one more, and I think because we've kind of touched on this in our previous questions a little bit, I'd like to maybe move on to this question. This is our final question, and we haven't really touched on this yet. So go ahead, Jennifer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to suggest. So this question is about how comfortable or how active you are with contacting the city when you need something in your neighborhood. If something's wrong or anything like that, you know, it's contacting the police, but it's also contacting people at City Hall who may be able to help directly, or at least begin to understand the issues that are happening. So this question is about, do you actually contact your city? And if you don't, and do you go to city council meetings or planning commission meetings? And if you don't, what would encourage you to contact the city or attend some of these public meetings, which are open to everybody?
السؤال الأخير الذي سنقوم بسؤاله الآن هو: هل تقوم بالاتصال بالمدينة عندما تكون هناك حالة أو هناك مشكلة في منطقتك أو تحتاج إلى بعض المعلومات؟ إذا لم يكن كذلك، ما الذي يساعدك على أن تتصل بالمدينة وأن تتواصل مع الخدمات الموجودة في المدينة التي تقدمها لك واجتماعات مجلس المدينة؟ هل تقوم بزيارة هذه الاجتماعات؟ وإذا لا، ما الذي سيساعدك أو يشجعك على ذلك؟
Thank you. I do see Samara's posted in the chat. I would like to contact the city if there is something, but I don't know how. So thank you for bringing that up. And as Jennifer responded, yeah, we'll definitely make note of that in the plan and think of ways to increase the access to that information. Okay, I see John has his hand raised. And I'm sorry, Tracy, it looks like you do as well. Let's let John go first.
Okay. I mentioned earlier that it'd be nice to have the churches work together and provide food to support the city, how to work with the city on that project. Who would I contact and how would I do that?
That's a great question. Melissa, I don't know if you have an answer right now, or maybe we can do some follow-up with John as well.
Sure. The city does not have a designated point person who handles food services. It's kind of a combination of different staff members, but I'd be happy to have a discussion with them. But I'd also encourage you, John, to reach out to the other nonprofits and churches that already do provide food service. There are quite a number of them in El Cajon already providing that service.
Yes, scattered out throughout the week, and there's no complete package.
Yeah, so we can definitely have a conversation about that. We do have a calendar.
Information?
Sure, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Rashid.
Yes, Sasha. In these questions, I've asked many of our clients about how they interact with the city of El Cajon, or in general, any city that they live in. And this is something new for them, basically, because most of the refugees and immigrants that they come to the U.S. Never had any experience back in their own country, you know, to be connected always with the city government, because something that's if something big happened, that's they might be connected. But normally it's not like where they can give their feedback immediately and they share what they think of. But I understand now it's many of them, they open their eyes here and they learn what it is important to be connected to your neighborhood, to the community that you live in, and even to the city official or the city in general. That's something that I think people, they ended up like understanding why it is important for them to be connected. And I will keep encouraging people to be always connected to the city of Oklahoma.
Rashid, what seem to be the barriers to them contacting? Is it just that they don't know who exactly to contact for particular?
And yeah, that's number one. And number two, also the language barriers. It's there. Number three, also they don't want to, like, for example, even if they have concern about housing issues, they don't want to feel that they're the one who complains about it, or they bring this to the light, where they feel the retaliation that later on they're scared of the retaliation that it could happen to them. And this is something that many of them, they just rather to just be quiet and move on with their life. But we've been encouraging them to be a leader in their community and to speak out if there's things that needs to be changed, or things that they would like to discuss with the city or even with the neighborhood, and making sure that they kind of become well informed of the city that they live in. And this is something that we would like each citizen who live in Alcohol to be kind of informed about what's going on in their city, and they can share their feedback with the city as well.
Great, thank you. That's clear. All right. Asha, you want to take the controls back?
Sure.
Thank you, everybody. That was great.
Yeah, thank you so much for all that wonderful feedback. It's very helpful. Okay, so now I'm just going to cover some next steps, and we'll go ahead and bring back our translators just so that we can make sure this presentation is easily accessible for those who wish to view it later and watch the recording. Go ahead, Erica.
Sí, hola. Ahora vamos a ver los próximos pasos y así podemos seguir con el proyecto y les avisaremos cuando ya tenemos otras noticias.
شكرا جزيلا من أجل هذا الوقت الذي قضيناه معكم، ونشكركم من أجل التواصل أيضا في هذا الوقت. وهذه بالنسبة لهذا الاجتماع سيكون مسجل بصورة كاملة. إذا في أي شخص يحب أن يراجع أو يسمع مرة أخرى أو يحضر مرة أخرى هذا الاجتماع، ممكن يحضره عن طريق التسجيل، يكون مسجل الموضوع على مكان بالنسبة لمكان الذي سيعلم.
So we are early in the process, still collecting data, working with community members such as you all, and defining priorities and guiding principles, really working to define those community priorities that are coming really truly from the residents and those who work and live and worship in the community. Oh, Erica, your audio is off again.
I'm sorry. Estamos en las primeras etapas del proceso de recopilación de datos y estamos trabajando con los miembros de la comunidad, como ustedes, para definir las prioridades y los principios. Y también estamos conduciendo nuestro public outreach para identificar las prioridades de todos ustedes.
نحن الآن في الخطوات الأولى من هذا البرنامج، وبدأنا في جمع البيانات. أولاً تحديد أولويات المجتمعات وأولويات هذا الموضوع، جمع كل هذه البيانات وتحديد بالنسبة لمكانات السكن، الشغل، الكنائس، الخدمات، وما هو المهم في تحديد أولويات وتنظيم التوعية بالنسبة لكل هذه الأولويات.
After we collect our data, we'll commence with plan preparation, and ongoing community outreach. Then we will prepare the plan for public review, and we'll address comments from the public review process, then prepare a final plan for public hearing.
Después de recopilar nuestros datos, vamos a comenzar con la preparación del plan y seguir con el alcance comunitario. Y luego vamos a preparar un plan para la revisión pública, y después abordaremos los comentarios del periodo del proceso público y vamos a preparar un plan final para presentarlo a la ciudad.
فنحن مثل ما ذكرنا في الخطوة الأولى وهو تجميع البيانات والمعلومات. بعد ذلك سننتقل إلى المرحلة الثانية وهي إعداد الخطة لهذا المشروع. بعد إعداد الخطة سنحاول أن نعرض هذه الخطة للعامة. بعد ذلك نبدأ بنأخذ التعليقات والملاحظات بالنسبة لهذه الخطة العامة. ثم نعين جلسة استماع عامة public hearing تكون هذه للجميع لنهاية تحضير هذه الخطوات.
And lastly, there still are lots of opportunities to get involved. As you can see here, for those of you that are perhaps watching this recording and weren't able to join us today, we do still have the doors open for interviews. If you or someone you know would like to have a discussion with the planning team here working on the environmental justice plan. Next, on the city's website, there is an online survey that I encourage you all to fill out. Also wanted to note that the city's draft housing element update is posted on the city's website. A lot of similar issues and policies and topics are covered in the housing element, and encourage you to take a look at that as well as additional resources. We have the website up here for you. The city also has a Facebook page for more information, and we've included Melissa Devine's contact information here as well, as she is the main point of contact for the city on this planning effort. Go ahead,
Para
Erica.
los que todavía quieren involucrarse o seguir involucrados, todavía tenemos muchas oportunidades. Como pueden ver en la pantalla, aquí vamos a seguir con entrevistas. Luego también pueden ir al sitio web de la ciudad para tomar una encuesta o ver más información. Y pueden ir al sitio de Facebook de la ciudad o pueden contactar directamente a Melissa Devine para hablar directamente con la ciudad.
والآن نحاول أن نقدم العرض لكيفية المشاركة بوضع كل مناهج هذا البرنامج. ممكنك المشاركة والاتصال بنا مباشرة، ممكن تقديم مقابلات، ممكن تتواصل معنا ونتقابل معك ونأخذ نقاط أخرى تحب أن تضيفها بالنسبة لهذا البرنامج. بعد ذلك نحن نوفر موقع إلكتروني على الويب والمسح عبر الإنترنت عبر هذه الموقع الإلكتروني أو الصفحة الإلكترونية، وموجود أمامك إذا ممكن تأخذ هذه المعلومات في المدينة City of Alcohon. يوجد بالنسبة في هذا الموقع كل المعلومات اللي تحتاجها، وأيضا تعطي رأيك في المسح الإلكتروني survey، فممكن تقوم بهذا الشيء. أيضا لدينا فيسبوك، صفحة في الفيسبوك ممكن تتواصل معنا بهذه الطريقة، أو إذا تفضل تتصل مباشرة مع ميليسا ديفاين، هي مسؤولة هذا المشروع والشخص الذي مسؤول عن الاتصال التواصل خلال هذا المشروع، وممكن الاتصال بها، والعنوان والتليفون والعنوان البريدي موجود أمامك في هذه الصفحة.
And with that, that is the close of our meeting today. Thanks again so much for coming to join us during your lunch hour. And again, this recorded meeting will be made available to you to either view or share. And we look forward to your participation in this exciting planning process. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.